An electric plane has taken off from Cambridge Airport for the first time. This comes from a partnership between Cambridge University's Whittle lab and sustainable aviation company 4Air. Aviation is the most emissions-intensive mode of transport. So for every kilometre a passenger travels, a flight produces up to 50 times more emissions than a train ride and 5 times more emissions than going by car. Deepanshu Singh is a research associate in sustainable aviation at Cambridge University and has been up in this battery-powered plane. Yikes, Deepanshu. What was it like? Good morning.
Hi, thanks for having me over. It was a really great experience, like at the Aviation Impact Accelerator at Whittle Lab. We've done a lot of research in electric aviation, and it was really great to actually experience the hardware. Like usually wind and gravity are just numbers in our models, but it was really great to experience it. And I was really fascinated by how quiet the aircraft was compared to the conventional jet power engines.
Yeah, or it'll be sneaking up on the birds in the sky, like I feel that hybrids sneak up on me when I'm trying to cross the road. Is it quite a little plane?
Yeah, it was. So it was a 2-seater aircraft. And that's one of the current limitations of electric aviation because of low energy densities of batteries, that you can have very less payload compared to big aircraft.
And how long can you go up for in it at the moment?
So because we were doing a lot of our team members, our flights were 15, 20 minutes, but you can do around 45 minutes in this particular aircraft because you also need to keep some reserve range for safety purposes. Yeah.
How big is the battery on this little plane?
I mean, I would say volume-wise, it comprises of 1/3 of the aircraft. So that it's quite substantial compared to jet fuel, which usually goes in the wings of the aircraft, and you don't really see the fuel replacing passengers. It's all out there, out of the airframe.
Wow. One thing that we've heard about a few times, sadly regularly on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire, Deepanshu, is faults in rechargeable batteries, say on e-scooters or electric bikes, sort of blowing up when you really don't want them to. Is that a worry at all with battery-powered planes?
Definitely. So with aviation, safety is the biggest priority for us. So unlike, the batteries which go in the cars, there's a lot of measures taken in terms of cooling the batteries, and there's something called thermal runaway. So that's something which is checked a lot, before actually flying, so that the batteries are operating at optimum conditions. And if you notice, at the pack level, there's a lot of instrumentation and installation that goes in to actually avoid such kind of disasters and avoid single point of failures in aviation.
So this is all about making flying more sustainable. Is sustainable aviation, though, a contradiction in terms? Wouldn't it just be better if we sort of stopped flying so much?
Reduction in demand is one of the measures, but so far the developed countries have really enjoyed, the growth in aviation. And if you see, a lot of the growth right now is coming from developing nations, and it would be unfair to deny that growth of the sector there. So yes, demand reduction is one, but you can make flying more sustainable. Just yesterday was a clear example of one of those measures. However, there are many other moonshot technologies which can completely eliminate in-flight emissions. For example, hydrogen. The Whittle Lab is doing a lot of amazing work on cryogenic hydrogen engines, which doesn't produce CO2 at the exhaust. Then there is synthetic biology, which can significantly reduce the cost and emissions of sustainable aviation fuel production. And that's something I'm particularly passionate about myself. I recently started a company to target that.
Okay, so lots of different options being looked at. Like you say, this was a tiny 2-seater plane going up for 15 minutes, a sort of pleasure flight, I guess. Can you imagine me ever going on holiday, 737 to Tenerife in a battery-powered plane? Can it happen, Deepanshu?
So for a fully battery-powered plane, there needs to be a major breakthrough in the battery technology. Right now, the energy density is 50 times lower than the jet fuel. So it can't sustain, let's say, a transatlantic flight. However, you can do hybrid operations, just like a Prius, where you can have batteries, but also instead of having batteries as reserves, you can have the fossil fuel as reserve and have two powertrains which can power the aircraft. So it's possible to increase the ranges of the existing electric aircraft by having this dual configuration.
Okay. Oh, it's a brave new world. Deepanshu Singh, the Research Associate in Sustainable Aviation at Cambridge University, who has been up in one of the first flights from Cambridge Airport, powered by battery. I think I'd find that a little bit nervy, but I guess when you've been working on it, that does add a different quality to it. It's 28 minutes past 7. We'll get your news.